As soon as I put my feet down and stood back up, they started hurting again. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Elizabeth. I normally make mom and cooking videos, so if you enjoy that kind of content, make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And if you're already a subscriber, thanks so much for your support. Today, I'm exactly 31 weeks pregnant, so I'll be talking about what's been going on in my pregnancy in the last week. My baby is approximately the size of a bunch of asparagus and weighs about 3.3 pounds. I've gained about a half a pound this week. I can definitely tell she's been getting bigger. I can feel the movements all over now. I think I'm feeling more kicks up top, so that's definitely a good sign. I just have a couple things left to do really to get ready for baby, which is making sure all the newborn size and 0 to 3 month clothes are ready and washed. And then a little bit closer to the due date, I'll set up an area downstairs with like a diaper changing station. I did that for Dominic when he was born in the living room, and that came in handy. Now we just have it set up in his room upstairs. Since he's in size 4 diapers and she'll be in probably newborn diapers, I think I'll just do 2 separate stations. That way I won't have to go up and down the stairs to change a diaper. I did a couple of those little necessary things this week to get ready for a baby coming. I got my Willow pump. I took that out of the box and got it already. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be so much easier to use than a traditional plug in the wall pump. Once I've been using it for a little bit, I'll give you guys an update. Maybe I'll do a full review on it to let you know how I like it and how it's working. Since I needed to sterilize the pump parts, I figured I might as well just go ahead and sterilize everything. So that was all of the bottles and pacifiers. Here's a picture just of part of it. I had to do 4 batches all together in my big stock pot, so it took a while. Hopefully we won't end up having to use too many bottles. But with Dominic, I nursed him as much as I could, and then we ended up supplementing with formula for the extra that he needed. So we did end up using some bottles. We'll just see how it goes this time. We definitely wanted to have some bottles ready. Most of the bottles that I have, I didn't even pay for. They were freebies in the registry boxes. A couple were from Dominic that I didn't use, and then I have a few that I got this time around. Same with the pacifiers. Some of those are left over from Dominic, and then some of them were freebies. Dominic wasn't hugely into pacifiers, so I just used them a little bit, but every baby's different, so we'll just see what happens. As far as cravings this week, I generally don't have a lot of cravings, but I'm highly suggestible to food, and if somebody mentions a food that sounds good, then I can't get it out of my brain until I eat it. My mother-in-law had mentioned that she ate a blondie the other day, so then I really wanted blondies, so I made some from scratch, and they turned out delicious. There's actually still a few downstairs, so I might have to eat one when I'm done with this video. Oh, I think I was just looking in a grocery ad and I saw chocolate pudding, and that made me want chocolate pudding, but I have all this stuff to make it, so I'm probably gonna make some chocolate pudding tomorrow. That sounds really good right now, so I'm excited for some chocolate pudding. My husband and I have been feeling like eggnog lately, but the last time I went grocery shopping, I would look at the ingredients and it's like high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of just crazy preservatives. I didn't really want that, so I decided I would try and make some homemade eggnog, which I've never done before. I'm not generally a huge eggnog fan, but I felt like if I made it homemade, it would probably be way better than what you could get in a store. I found a recipe that it just used egg yolks and it heated them up, so I didn't have to worry about putting raw eggs into it. I made some homemade whipped cream as well to put on top, and it turned out pretty delicious. We actually tried it hot, and that was pretty good, and then I cooled it off in the fridge. We haven't tried that yet, but we'll probably have some tonight. As far as my symptoms this week, I had a pretty big one yesterday that was not very fun. I had really bad leg pain, like in my ankles and throughout my legs. I had actually been having a little bit of leg pain throughout the past week or two. I had a prenatal appointment and I mentioned it, and so she prescribed compression socks to me. I tried to get some through Aeroflow because they are like a third-party company. You can actually get breast pumps through there, and things like compression socks if your insurance covered it. I submitted the form through them and they said I can't go through them with my insurance. I found a 5-pack on Amazon that wasn't too expensive, and my mom also has an extra pair she's gonna let me borrow. Calling my insurance company is pretty much the last thing that I ever want to do ever, so if I don't have to call them, I won't, because I might end up having to pay through them anyway. Just since we already hit our deductible this year, it'll be hitting it again next year with the baby being born. I'm trying to get as much stuff through my insurance as I can, but said I got the 5-pack for like $18 on Amazon, so I didn't think that was really a big deal. My legs were hurting so bad yesterday. I had been planning on cooking dinner and I couldn't even cook dinner. We just got Chipotle, but I sat down and put my legs up for a while, and then that helped. Like, they weren't hurting while I was sitting. As soon as I put my feet down and stood back up, they started hurting again. But today, that was yesterday, and today they've been much better. I'm trying not to do too much standing and walking. Obviously, that's limited somewhat by watching a toddler and chasing a toddler around. But I'm trying to be better about elevating my feet when I can. I guess the worst thing is standing in one place. So rather than standing, I'm trying to at least walk a little bit and then sit down and put my legs up when I can. So far today, it's been a lot better, just a little bit of pain. And hopefully once I get the compression socks, that will help. Also, the varicose veins are getting worse, so hopefully the compression socks will help with that as well. I haven't had any new stretch marks yet, but I'm definitely feeling some stretching going on. It was about at this point in my pregnancy with Dominic where I started getting lots of stretch marks. I don't know if those ones will just stretch back out or if I'll get new ones. Doesn't really bother me either way. Stretch marks are mostly genetic. I have been putting lotion on my belly once or twice a day. Not so much about stretch marks because, like I said, that's mostly genetic. It helps with my belly just feeling better and not itching, especially with it being winter and the air being drier. I also run humidifiers all the time. I have one in the bedroom and one in the living room, and that definitely helps as far as my skin not drying out as much. If I don't run humidifiers, my hands get super dry, or if I'm out of the house for doctor's appointments, running errands, whatever, I notice my hands will get more dry. So I would definitely recommend humidifiers. The rest of my symptoms are just kind of general pregnancy stuff. The baby is really pushing on my bladder, so constantly having to go to the bathroom. It's so much fun when I went to the bathroom 5 minutes ago and have to go again because baby's pushing on my bladder. But oh well, that's just part of pregnancy. It's getting even harder to pick stuff up off the floor. So now I feel like that scene in The Emperor's New Groove when Yzma drops her cup and Pacha's wife has to pick it up. No, allow me. That takes 5 minutes. Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I've had a few Braxton Hicks contractions, not anything crazy. With Dominic, I remember having a few around this time, but then my last about 2 weeks or so of pregnancy, I was getting them several times every day. They don't hurt, they're just a little bit uncomfortable and weird. And that's really all the symptoms that I've been having. I had a prenatal appointment last week. I met the new midwife that I'll probably be seeing at the end of my pregnancy, since the midwife I had been seeing is going on maternity leave in January. She seemed nice and we got along, so I think I'll be sticking with her. One of the things we talked about in my appointment was what it looks like at the hospital right now as far as going into labor with the pandemic. And she said right now they're not doing a test unless you or your partner have symptoms. And you need to wear a mask in and out, but once you're in the room, you don't have to wear a mask. So I thought that was pretty much best case scenario. I'm not a person that has a problem breathing with the mask, like it's perfectly fine, but I definitely was not looking forward to laboring in a mask if I didn't have to. And since my husband and I will basically be quarantining a few weeks before my due dates, we hopefully won't be sick at all and won't have any symptoms. They also currently are allowing doula support, which I was planning on having my doula there. There is a possibility that I could change if the cases keep getting worse, because this hospital did ban doulas at the beginning of the pandemic, but hopefully that won't happen. Actually, there are only a handful of hospitals in my state that are currently allowing doulas. And that's such a tough thing. Like, I can definitely understand both sides. Like, I view doulas as an essential part of the support team. I know my birth with Dominic would have been so much harder if I hadn't had a doula, so I'm very grateful for them, but I can also understand at the hospital they want to limit exposure as much as they possibly can, so I can understand when hospitals do ban them. I feel like that would be really tough, especially for somebody who wants to have an unmedicated labor and was planning on getting doula support. I know there's always virtual support, and that would certainly be helpful as well, but it's just not the same as having somebody physically there. We didn't do any professional photography with Dominic. My doula offers a photography package with her support, so we decided to go for that this year. The nice thing about my doula being able to take the photography is I know we wouldn't be able to have another person come in to be a photographer. Plus, I would rather have as few people there as possible, just my husband and my doula, and of course the hospital staff is as much as I'd really like. So I'm excited for her being able to take some better pictures. I don't think it'll be as extensive as if I were to hire a separate birth photographer, but a little bit more than if we were just taking pictures on our phone. Those are all of my pregnancy updates for the week, so I'll go ahead and show you my bump. Oh, I fell asleep. Here's the front. See, lots of old stretch marks from Dominic, but no new ones yet. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. you.